Welcome to Sovereign Temples. This is the third verse of the Tao Te Ching. If you are just joining, be sure to check out our playlist with all of them. Putting a value on status will create contentiousness. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. The sage governs by emptying minds and hearts, by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. Practice not doing. When action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place. Now, that one is all kinds of irony, especially if we think about the idea of ambition. And and I'm not sure, with where you are from listening, but I know that this is happening a lot around the world. The welfare state is increasing and people are becoming very dependent upon a government, and ambitions have been weakened. And so when we're reading this, and I invite you to check in to see if this resonates for you, but the sage governs by emptying minds and hearts and by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. And I want us to focus now on the words, emptying minds and hearts and strengthening bones. Because what we have now is it's like this parallel universe that a lot of us are living in, right? It's like people are either doing nothing and getting rewarded for it, right? And that's kind of like a weakening side of a society, right? When only 50% are working. And I'm not talking about somebody who's really been in the depths and whatnot. I'm talking about really taking advantage. We all know what I'm talking about. Don't even need words. We know. And then you have the people that are so ambitious that they are willing to run themselves into the ground and just give until they can give no more, right? So it's like the two sides, which are the whole, right? But what if this passage is saying, hey, wait a minute, being your own sage and governing yourself, because that's what it's all about. It's about governing ourselves and being a disciple of discipline for ourselves. They say it is easier to rule a country than your own mind. Now, I am choosing even if that is true, I am choosing to be a wise steward of governing myself through surrendering to my higher self and becoming my own master and my own sage within. The Holy One that sits within is who I'm looking to connect with to govern my life. And I believe that if you are listening to this, that would be you too. Feel free to comment and let me know. But by strengthening our bones, strengthening the foundation, it's all about the foundation is what I have come to realize for myself. And the thing that gives me the biggest foundation to empty my mind and quote unquote of what we're of our heart's desire, that's a common thing. Like, God wants to give you the desires on your heart. What I am realizing is what my heart really craves is communion with the holy light and fire of my higher self. And so when I empty my mind and I empty all this need for all these external things that I think will make me happy, that I think I need, that's when I'm able to connect to the next part of the verse where it says, practice not doing. When I go into communion with my higher self, and why this channel creates so many meditations to create that space, and also why we just put sound out, high frequency sounds that have effects on our cells, it's literally to practice not doing in a world of 10,000 things where we're constantly doing. And it is when we then connect through having empty minds and hearts, because we're not being weakened by all this trying to have all these ambitions and force them into manifestation. We step into pure and selfless action. But it's because we got selfish enough to empty our mind and heart and to strengthen our foundation. And we got selfish enough to not need to have all these ambitions to have external validation. It's when we get caught up in this needing to be seen as valued, needing to be seen as this status or that status, needing to be seen as having this possession, that possession, that we weaken ourselves. But when we strengthen the foundation within us, and we practice not doing through meditation, communion, experience, action is pure and selfless, and everything settles into its own perfect place. And the irony here is when we create enough time to practice not doing and to let go of all of the weakening ambitions, and again, use discernment when I'm speaking around what, again, like the first verse where it says, the Tao cannot be named. This is not about putting a definition on what ambition is or weakening. It's about taking the concept and allowing your heart, your empty heart and mind, to give you the meaning of it. We have all been taught to look towards an outside figure, especially, again, religious, government, all of these things, teachers, right? We're indoctrinated so young that there is an outside hierarchy that is smarter than us, that knows how to interpret for us. And right now, I'm calling upon your heart to interpret this verse for you, to see how this verse can transform your relationship to become witness to anything that's been weakening you, and to harness more of that which can strengthen you. And to invite you to be completely selfish by practice not doing, so that you can receive the guidance to where all of your action truly will be pure and selfless for humanity. Because what is for your highest good is for humanity's. Do you feel that to be true for you? And when we begin to live our life by the third verse, everything settles into perfect place without us having to force it with all of these ambitions, while we're expanding into so much more. And it really does all then boil back down to truly what the law of attraction is, and what becomes our frequency when we're not constantly in a state of wanting, but we're just constantly in gratitude and in awe of the mystery. So see how all of that resonates with you. And another nugget from Dr. Wayne Dyer that he wrote on this verse, that we've heard it again and again and seen it everywhere. I know that there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. When we are willing to not need anything to happen in the external world, to choose happiness right now, And we can be happy that we're just getting real and sober to the fact that we've been denying how angry we are. That can be happiness. Oh my gosh, I'm being honest with myself. I'm going to choose happiness for that moment right now. I'm being honest with myself. Wow, I am identifying that I have really been weakening myself through focusing so much on ambition. And again, ambition's a beautiful thing, right? Again, we have to take everything, the paradox of the Tao. But man, I'm going to, really strengthen my foundation. Witnessing all the ways maybe we haven't been, but it's like we can choose happiness in that moment for the awareness and the aha moment. Even if we're pissed or angry that we're starting to witness, oh my gosh, all the choking of my life force I've been doing. So the third verse is powerful. Remember, everything settles in its own perfect place when we align with the way of our higher self that always guides us into our highest potential for this lifetime. And we don't have to force it. We get to flow with it like the Tao, the way of water. I'll see you on the 4th verse. All my love and light. Namaste.